Welcome to Pub Talk, the unofficial official craft beer podcast of Oklahoma, where we're all about the three B's, beer buddies and bullshit. I'm Michael, and with me as always is a man who can't believe all the wild stuff he's seen while the world buckles down dealing with COVID-19, Jeremy.
Hey, yo.
On today's show, we're back again with another social distancing Skype show to chat with Kelsey from Renaissance Brewing. If you like what you hear today, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button wherever you're listening to us right now, and show us some love on social media at Pub Talk Podcast. All right, let's get into first round.
You know, they brew 10,000 bottles of beer a day. I drink 45 off the assembly line, and I'm the asshole.
Sure, why not? We'll probably talk about it more when he gets on, but
Sweet.
Yeah, might as well.
So this is a little weird. I think we're going to drink the same thing remotely.
Why not?
What are we drinking?
Well, I'll start by saying I'm drinking it. Maybe we both are. Buy a Lady a Rose, Goza, from Renaissance Brewing.
Surprise, surprise.
Nice.
I guess we need to get into rating it and everything, or just want to go on the craziness that's been happening. What are we doing? This is different.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we might as well rate it, hadn't we? Well, first we should probably say it's a 4.5% alcohol by volume. It's a sour goza. It's brightly colored and looks great in a clear growler.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess I'll lead off. I enjoy this one a lot. I don't know what we'll have to ask Kelsey when he gets on. I don't know what fruits are in this, but I get great fruit flavor out of it. It looks sexy. I'm sorry. I'm attracted by a good looking beer as much as anything else. Anyway, it's not pucker your butthole sour either. It's right there in the middle of the I guess pucker factor. I like it a lot. As far as sours go, it's probably one of my go-to favorite sours here in town. Rating wise, I'm in the mid threes probably. Only because sours aren't my jam typically, but I'll give it like a 3.69.
Nice. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate everything that you just said. It is a sexy looking beer, especially in the clear growler, which we talked to them about when they were on the show before.
Yeah.
The pucker factor being low really helps me because I'm not a sour beer fan at all. Just not. There are some that I do enjoy, and the ones that I enjoy tend to have that lower puckerness on it. This one I could drink a lot of. Good thing there's a growler of it here. I'd probably give it a 3.54.
Okay.
It's not a big sour fan, but it is good for a sour.
Yeah.
I would actually pick this one up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Side note, just because for those watching the video, I keep moving my face because I'm not used to wearing glasses, but I'm trying to give my eyes a break while I'm home all the time, and the glare is fucking with me, and I keep trying to move my face to get rid of the glare, but yeah. You just won't see my eyes through this whole podcast.
Okay, looks kind of cool. You got
basically looking back at you, I think, because I can just see my screen in my glasses. Whatever.
So we're back already. Just a few days later. If you listen to that episode, you might have thought we just came down from being hungover because
Monday was rough.
But fuck, shit's changed a lot just in those few days too.
Yeah, and that's what's so funny. Trying to prepare for these episodes, trying to really do anything. It's like fucking Christ, like you can get beer delivered now. You can get alcohol delivered now. It's not just beer.
What the fuck?
Yeah. If you'd have told me 3 weeks ago that would be a thing in Oklahoma this year, I would have assumed someone was under some desks somewhere doing some business.
Happy. There's no fucking way. That's started seeing those other states where they're talking about delivering and shit. And I was like, well, that'll never happen here. And then I think saw even down in Texas 903 Brewers, they were doing something to try to get it to happen there.
Yeah.
They got down, and then it happened here, which is just nuts to me. And not just them, and fucking certain restaurants with shit and liquor stores and stuff. It's I don't know. This isn't what the end times is like. I'd be shocked.
Yeah. And I mean, so for anyone who maybe was using not wanting to get out of the house or whatever as an excuse to not go do the curbside pickup, you're out of excuses now, because most of these places are delivering. Many of them are the entire Tulsa metro for no fee or a small fee. And even the ones that are a little bit smaller radius, it's still like between 5 and 15 miles are the most common numbers I've seen. So, and your liquor stores are delivering too. So even if you do live outside of those parameters, get some local craft beer from the liquor store delivered. You know, I don't know that I haven't decided if I'm going to try the delivery or if I'm just going to keep doing beer runs, but we're pretty well stocked right now. So,
okay, what? So yeah, delivery and shit. That's crazy.
yeah. I guess if we are in the end times and whatever, at least we'll all go out with a nice buzz. I don't know. Like, you know, and we'll get into more of the stuff about the actual virus with Kelsey, since he is in the medical field as well as the beer world. But you know, there's not that much new with all of this, except for fucking the numbers keep rising, and we're now under mandatory stay-at-home orders unless you're essential. Yada yada. Per the governor, if you're in one of the counties with cases, which we are. And in fact, it's weird. I have a letter in my possession from the government saying I can be out and about to go to work if I need to be. I mean, I'm working from home, but if I needed to go to the office, I have to have this fucking letter with me to carry in case I get stopped. Weird shit.
That's nuts. Yeah, they were out there this morning putting yellow tape around the parks and shit. That's been one thing driving my daughter crazy, not getting to go anywhere. And it's always, well, we can't go. They've shut them down. No, they haven't. Or we can sneak there or some shit. But I actually had to run to the store today and was able to take a picture of it just to show her, look, I'm not lying. There's yellow tape all around this. She'd still probably try to do it anyway, but I'm glad they're taking those steps, because there were, I don't know, when I would go out and shop and stuff, there would still be people at the parks, kids climbing all over that shit. And it's just like, come on, man.
Yeah. I think we talked about it a little bit on the last episode. They have to lock it down more to keep dumb people that don't want to listen from doing whatever they feel like. Oh, before I forget to shout it out, check out my sweet new Black Cock Brewery hat. And shout out to Tyler of Pearl Brewery Tours for putting that thought in my head when I was drunk in Arkansas. It just showed up today. Just had to mention it.
Oh, yeah.
So I took a picture of the hat, sent it to him, and said, well, you can't say I've never sent you a cockpick now. As you do.
Yeah. You might wind up sending them one anyway.
No.
But
I hope not.
oh, shit. Coughed.
Yeah, that might be it. I also just wanted to quickly mention that magazine that I have been writing for well over a year now. Craft Magazine announced today on social media that this whole thing's shut him down. So that magazine they're not going to continue operating. I suppose that could change somewhere down the line, but it didn't sound promising from when I talked to Ben. So I just wanted to say, publicly, thanks to him for letting me write for him for quite a while there, and good luck.
Yeah. Shit's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the first. It's the first total shutdown local casualty that I know of. Although Ozark Brewing Company in Northwest Arkansas did announce that they had to lay off all of their employees the other day too. This shit's it's getting real.
Yeah. Sad.
Mm-hmm. Sad enough. I'm about to pour more beer.
I still can't believe there's people out there doing that dumb shit too. The pranks just won't fucking stop. You see that lady coughed all over the produce in a store? 35.
You can get charged with terrorism for that shit now.
Yeah. That happened to someone, didn't it?
I don't know if it happened, but I definitely heard that it could if you threaten to give somebody the shit.
Yeah, I think there was a dude like licking deodorant or something. Deodorant sticks, which is fucking disgusting.
Jesus Christ. I mean, people do that dumb shit when we're not in a pandemic, but yeah. Fucking dumb. I learned why people use coasters just now. Jesus.
Oh, yeah, I had shit spilled all over the place back here.
Oh, I bet. There was one point, and I think it was about that point that I stopped trying to edit, that you like spilled something, and you're like, oh shit, hang on, I gotta clean this up. And Joe and I didn't even notice. We just kept talking. Which, I guess we might. Thanks to Joe for coming on the show the other day. And fucker, you're a bad influence. I say that like we need an excuse to drink a lot, but
I hadn't planned on drinking for fucking 5 hours on Sunday.
I didn't either. I knew I was probably not gonna get out of that show with my sobriety intact. I did not think it would go all afternoon.
Oh well.
I think I counted 12 or 13 beers. Yeah.
Oh,
ridiculous.
Fucking easy. Part of the reason I had to get out, I had to go restock back up on a lot of stuff because I drank most of it over the weekend.
Sense. Yeah. I put a nice dent, especially on a lot of my barrel aged shit. It's what you do, I guess, when you're a dumbass. Hey, please, we were all sick. We were stuck at home.
Exactly. There's a lot more people out there doing the same fucking thing. I keep seeing the posts in the beer groups.
Yeah. Are you in that quarantined beer chugs group?
No.
I need to add you to that. It is deliciously fucking horrible.
Is it?
Yeah.
There's so many fucking quarantine groups popping up, getting invited to shit I miss. Like, it's hard to keep up with everything. Okay, so next up, we're gonna have our guest on, Kelsey from Renaissance Brewing.
So, Kelsey, thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
I guess before we really dive into anything, we talked about Buy a Lady a Rose before we brought you onto the show. So we're both drinking it right now. Can you tell us like a little bit more about that beer? What kind of fruits in it, that kind of thing?
Yeah. So that beer is the base beer is a Goza. It has, coriander as well as, we put a little salt in ours as well, just because of the salinity, that you see with the traditional styles. And then the fruit is a cranberry and raspberry. So, yeah, we just use Oregon fruit. We just put that in at the end after fermentation, and then usually about a day or two it'll ferment out. So that's what. And then I didn't know what to call it, and then some people know, most people know. I thought everybody knew about about Mad Dog that comes to all the bars and is like, "Buy Lady Rose, buy Lady Rose."
So let me pose this question to Michael, because I was texting Kelsey when I did our social media post earlier for the beer, and I asked him, is it Buy a Lady or Buy the Lady a Rose? And he was saying it's named after Mad Dog, and I'm like, who the fuck is Mad Dog? It's the guy that does the roses and the bars and stuff. But I remember it when I was a youngin'. It was a lady. It was a female.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
So that must be the successor.
I guess
everywhere.
Yeah. Well, the last time I was in a bar at that time of night, it's been a while. So
I do got your nice little glass you guys
Nice.
gave me last time.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So, cheers. Jesus. So how's things been for you guys?
Well, we're learning to do Skype. That's the biggest change.
Shit changed quick because first it was like, oh, we probably shouldn't tour the state anymore, interviewing people. Let's make the decision to do this. Like a week later, it's like, you can't do any of that shit. Just stop.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if I told you, Michael, but it was just one, but it was enough that I was like, this could happen more. Our last episode we did where we were in the same room was the weekend before St. Patrick's Day, and we got a comment that was basically like, you're not social distancing, that's not safe. And it was like, fuck. What? You're right. All Skype.
Nope, I didn't know. You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, I think I forgot about it.
Social distancing warriors.
Fuck, that was quick. That was before.
Gotta love the internet.
Yeah, this is kind of cool, I think.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, yeah.
Another tool to add to the show anyway. Do this shit after. Then goes back to
something can't make it work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we should probably let you, people that may not have listened to the first episode we did with you or whatever, just kind of let you introduce yourself.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Kelsey. I work at Renaissance Brewing Company. I started as a head brewer when we first started with Glenn. I started with Glenn when we were brewing Gypsy Brewing over at Dead Armadillo, and then he kind of showed me the ropes and everything, and was doing all the brewing, and then became the head brewer. And then I took a job. I actually work in the medical field as my full-time job, and I took a job that didn't really allow my schedule to work out, and so that's when we brought Stoney on, and he'd kind of already been there, but he kind of took on that role as head brewer, and then but I definitely wanted to stick around with the company, and so I'm do their special projects now. So like the Tulsa American is one of my projects, and then the By Lady of Rosa Goza is definitely another one of mine. So I try to do just kind of our one-offs, and sometimes we'll scale those up. So so, and then my full-time job, I won't name the hospital I work at because I don't know if they'll like throw a fit about it. But anyways, yeah, I work there. I've been a nurse. Well, I was a nurse initially, and then I went back and got my nurse practitioner. I've been a nurse practitioner, and that's actually why I moved to Tulsa. I've been here for going on 5 years now, and so there's different kinds of nurse practitioners. There's family nurse practitioners, which you would see like in an office, and then I'm an acute care nurse practitioner, so I work specifically in the hospital, and I work with a pulmonary critical care group, and so our group manages a unit at the hospital I work at, and we, usually have one of the, as far as acuity goes, the higher acuity patients to take care of. So it's kind of been a thing where, a lot. It's been with the coronavirus coming around, there's been a lot of talk among our group, and now it's here, and so we're kind of seeing everything on the front line.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's that, man.
So I guess with your background in the medical field, for the people that a lot of people need to know more about this, can you talk to us a little bit about what the coronavirus is?
Yeah. So coronavirus is it's been here for a long time, since the 60s. 1960s is when coronavirus was around. This is a different variant of that, but we've seen coronavirus for a long time. It's been around for the 60s, and there's 4 different varieties that you typically would see. And then the COVID-19 is what it's called now, which basically is coronavirus ID 19 2019. It's got 3 or 4 different names. But anyway, so that's kind of a new thing, and it's kind of and another thing is novel coronavirus. I mean, it's it's a virus. So first off, it's not a bacteria. Antibiotics does not kill it whatsoever. The only thing that would kill it is, an antiviral, which right now there's no FDA approved antivirals for it. There's some under investigation. Or if you get vaccinated like you would for the flu or whatever. So it's usually it's a respiratory disease. So it usually affects the respiratory tract, your lungs. And that's kind of what we're seeing with this as well. And that's why people are having such a hard time, is because it directly attacks the tissue in your lungs. So that's kind of what it is. It's not influenza. It has no direct relation to influenza. It doesn't. You can't get the flu shot. The flu shot won't protect you against this. It's a totally different class. It'd be like if you had a blonde and a stout, So, I mean, they're not. It's apples and oranges. There's no correlation. So.
Okay. Well, I guess that feeds fairly well into. We're just going to talk a little bit about this coronavirus stuff, and then we'll talk about beer, and we'll probably come back to coronavirus and go back to beer. But
depends how much we drink. We start drinking. So
well, and we did a 5-hour one on Sunday. Let's not try to top that.
With Joe.
Yes, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
Yeah,
I gotta watch that still. I gotta sit down and watch that. So
yeah, I trimmed it down to about 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it's still sloppy by the time we're done. So there's a lot of talk right now about social distancing. It's become something of a buzz phrase and everything. Can you kind of talk about why that's important for people to practice social distancing and what it exactly is?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a new thing for, I guess, everyone really, because and what it does. And so the thing is that social distancing is important in regards to surges. And when I mean surges, I mean like a peak in how many cases you have. And so, in the town of Tulsa, we have so many ICU beds, and then if those ICU beds are filled up, and there's not enough manpower and resources to take care of those people, then there's a problem, because we can't take care of everybody. And so what social distancing does is it just slows down the transmission. Sometimes if instead of everybody being in a restaurant together, or a bar or a brewery, and let's say one person coughs or whatever, or there's transmission, then all those people at one time get exposed. So if you distance each other socially, that you decrease that number. And so data shows, and studies have shown, that by using this thing that kind of Governor Stitt has kind of put into play, and now bars and restaurants and breweries are closed, is the data shows that it decreases the surge by 2/3, and then also decreases mortality by half. And the reason being is, if someone gets really, really sick and they go to the hospital, there's someone in some place for them to go, and there's resources for them to be taken care of. So, and that's important. And I know it's painful, honestly. From an economic standpoint, it's from a social standpoint, but I think right now it's probably an important thing to do, just because it allows a slowing of the transmission where it can be handled. It's easy for this to be transmitted, and so. But on the other side, it's also easy for it to be. It's also easy to kill as well. There's very simple things that you can do that can stop the transmission, but it kind of slows things down where we can kind of get a grasp on things from a healthcare standpoint and not be overwhelmed. So, yeah. But
so I guess going back to beer, do you have any go-to social distancing beers that you're going to rely on however long?
Yeah, the ones that pass me out. They can't go anywhere. No. No, I mean, like I said earlier, I don't know if it's going to be on the podcast or not, but I have a lot of Marshall's beers. I love those guys. I have one that has been saving that it's like one of their old ales they put in rye barrels. It's probably one of my favorite beers, that 10. So it's solid. But yeah, that and I've been drinking a lot of our beer as well. So Renaissance, Gold. So yeah, just it's kind of funny because now we just sit at home and the thing is that beer is such a social thing, you know.
Yes, yeah,
it brings I mean, I would never know you guys if it wasn't for beer.
yeah,
So
exactly.
and so here we are, distancing ourselves, but socially still. But yeah, so I would definitely say that. The thing is I try, and another thing I think it's important, and I think a lot of people don't realize is, drinking a lot of beer, overconsumption, can weaken your immune system. And so getting back to the medical thing, it's good to just kind of like take it easy as well every once in a while in moderation, because having a good immune system is probably the best medicine against everything going on right now. So I kind of have been practicing as well, limiting my imbibedness or whatever you want to call it. So, but still drinking probably too much.
Yeah, I know I am. I just haven't left the
Yeah, I
house.
was like, what else are we gonna do? What else are we
Yeah.
gonna do at our house?
Yeah. Yeah, I put a post up earlier today. I was like, shit, happy hour starting to creep closer to 3 o'clock, guys.
Exactly. It's like, hey, I'm at home. Probably shouldn't say this, but last night I'm an adjunct faculty at a university, and I was grading papers and drinking. I mean, that's the beauty of working from your house, right?
Yeah, well, some of them probably make you want to drink, right? Some of those papers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'm not going to name names, but yeah.
So I think we had you on for the first time tail end of 2018. So since that time, I'm sure you've had a lot of beers. Do you have a favorite beer from the last year or so? I know you just named the 10. Any others?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, one beer I'm really proud that we've kind of put out is that Tulsa American. I don't know if you guys have had it yet or not. I know.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good. And it gets better with time. It's a Baltic porter, got a lot of raisiny flavor to it. I'd actually put it in the World Beer Cup. I actually sent off 12 beers. I'm glad the volunteers got to enjoy those, because it's not going to happen this year.
Oh.
So, yeah, so sent them off, and then this happened, and then CBC canceled, and so I mean, somebody got 12 beers. I don't know who it was, but yeah, my favorite, I would say, like, I'm really proud of that Tulsa American, and I'm really glad how it turned out. It takes a long time to make. It has a long lagering phase, and I know a lot of people rush lagering and things like that, but I feel like it's important to kind of clean that beer out, give it the right profile, keep it cold for a long time, and then on top of that, just kind of like develop that character you see. So, but yeah, I really like that one. The other one that I gave you guys was the Violator Rose. It's a totally different ball game, because it's sour and sweet, and I really like that. It's easy drinking, and it's low alcohol, but more than anything, I like it because it's really neat to brew, because it deals with not, it's a mixed fermentation. It doesn't have just yeast. It has lactobacillus and things like that you have to play with. So that's kind of my thing. Is I really got into brewing just because microbiology is just something I like doing. So then I was like, well, shit, now I can get drunk and do microbiology, and I can work in brewing. Hell yeah. So, but yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about Renaissance Brewing, how this pandemic's affecting you all, and what you're doing to deal with the situation?
Yeah. I mean, it's really affecting us. So I talked to Glenn today, and I told him, I was like, hey, I'm going to talk to the guys at Pub Talk. You got anything, further you want to add in things? And so the thing is that, again, like I said earlier, that breweries are such a social thing. And so now we're like, not able to have that environment for, obvious reasons. But that people come in and hang out with each other and things like that. So it's affected the tap room. Not only has it affected the tap room, but it also affected ourselves from a keg standpoint, because now restaurants are closed, so they're not picking up. We do have some avenues through grocery stores and things like that. We sell at Reese's, and so actually cans have picked up since then. So we're doing our best, having carry out, and people come in. You can come in and get cans or growler fill. But we took all the chairs and tables out of our tap room. There's nowhere to sit down or anything like that. So, and then it's kind of been a big deal, because, and I think a lot of things is that people, people are right now are kind of panicking a little bit.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know if you guys, I hope you have some toilet paper, but
now.
But anyways, so I think people's minds are elsewhere. That you're not really thinking about, hey, going out and hanging out and having a beer. So, and I do know the Able Commission recently laxed the laws on delivery of alcohol, but that's not a game we're playing. That's not a game that we're playing with right now, and and we just hope that we can get people into the tap room to get some beer, and as well as like go to the grocery store and pick up beer as well. So, this is going to have an economic impact on everyone. I don't think we know how far yet, but definitely been something that's affected us.
So do you have any, and I know this is all uncharted territory, but do you have any kind of, I guess, guesses or estimates of what things might look like going forward, and maybe even when going forward is going to be?
Are you talking about with the beer stuff?
Well, all of it really, but yeah.
So I think the thing is we don't know, we don't know how long this is going to last. I know that we're in they're doing like I don't know if it's 14 or 20-day quarantine with the governor or whatever, where basically stay at home and only essential businesses are allowed. But I don't think, my opinion is that's not, we're going to see a surge by then. It's not going to slow down. So I don't know if you guys follow. I really don't get involved in politics. Everything I know as far as, it's just data, and Fauci, Dr. Fauci, he's one of the, he's basically the doctor involved with this, and you'll see him in like press conference, stuff like that. And one of the things he said today was like, we don't determine the timeline, the virus determines the timeline. This isn't something we can control. We can react. And so I have no idea how long this will last. I know everyone wants to be open. Mm-hmm. I know it's everyone's bottom line, but I don't know when that'll be. So, because we're not seeing a slowdown from a healthcare standpoint. In fact, I suspect everything's going to get busier. I have no idea. And that's the thing is, like, and I talked to Glenn too about, like, moving forward, let's say like this just keeps going on, where are we going to look at, like, are we doing delivery or whatever? And, it was just one of those things where we didn't want to like do deliveries right now, just because at that point you have like an employee out on the road and doing things like that. And so, we even talked about maybe if it, long-term getting a golf cart around the neighborhood or something, because that's kind of what we were built on to begin with, was a neighborhood brewery, and maybe doing neighborhood deliveries. But, that's kind of the thing. I mean, I'm a medical person, but there's got to be some. So alcohol kills this. I'm not offering these as alcohol or as medical advice. Shit, I probably should stop drinking already. But like the thing is that, like, it has alcohol and it's got to kill a few viral sheds on it. But I'm not saying that it does. But I'm just saying, like, it goes down your mouth.
No, sure. It's been one of the most popular memes. Oh, alcohol kills this? Chug a bottle of vodka or whatever.
Yeah, unfortunately, that it doesn't go through your lung. I mean, we'd have scar tissue in our lungs if alcohol showed up in it. So.
Oh my god.
I'd be
Look
dead.
worse than a smoker's lung for me. I'm just saying.
Yeah, exactly. Luckily, our liver takes care of that.
Yeah.
And it regenerates.
True.
So, yeah. I keep mine nice and healthy. Try to keep the cells regenerating.
There you go.
So, yeah. So, but anyways, man, that's a good question. I have no idea.
Yeah. And that's just it. We're all just floating in the wind, waiting on the next hit, basically.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I really don't. I have no idea. So,
it's funny you mentioned that doctor too, who was saying he doesn't know the timeline, but it was just earlier in the press conference. Sounded like workers going to go back to work soon.
Yeah.
I think everybody wants that to happen.
Yeah.
You know, obviously we all want. This is token. You know, I didn't think about it honestly. How much of an impact it has on your employees and your bar staff and the people that are in restaurants and things like that. And I mean, it takes such a hit on. That's a very large population of people that rely on that as income and a livelihood. And I mean, obviously, everyone would love to get back, but at the same time, like, what's the risk versus benefit of it? You know.
Yeah.
And so I'd rather be alive at the end of this. Not to say that, you know, everyone. I don't want doom and gloom, but I'd rather, you know, everyone be safer than not. You know, it's one of those mixed things. Like, it's got to be, you know, you got to make a living, but at the same time, like, you got to be alive to make a living.
Yeah. And
so, it's just a difficult thing. It's kind of uncharted territory that none of us have really, I think in my age, and you guys as well, have never been here before. So, yeah, the way I look at it is like, hey, listen, if there was a true war in the United States, this would be where, I mean, this is kind of what it would be like, you know, everyone pitch in and do what we can to contribute to society and our, you know, the brotherhood or sisterhood, everyone taking care of each other. And I think that's the most important thing is doing that, you know, and if that means that we can't be in a bar or pub or whatever, a restaurant, then I think people are making sacrifices, and more so anything, the owners of these restaurants and breweries. I mean, it's going to hit them hard. So, yeah.
So, have you come up with anything fun to do while being stuck at home during this quarantine? Any suggestions for the people listening?
I mean, I don't know. I think everyone should have some kind of hobby. I'm not making beer right now, but I don't know. I guess you could clean.
Yeah. Been doing some of that.
Yeah, so I was like, what else do you do here? And so it's just kind of weird, you know, because you're just like, I'm not going to go out and do anything. But I think the thing is that you can also use this time as an advantage to kind of reconnect with people. I think sometimes we're so connected from a social media standpoint and whatnot that, you know, that we're really involved in those things. And so I think sometimes it's nice to just hang out with other people. And it's kind of, for me anyways, it's kind of slowed down my life and been like, hey, you know, the person that's sitting across from you, like, hey, you can hang out and have a good time with. And so I think that's one thing that I've kind of embraced is just the people that I'm close to and you know, or I'll call my brother or my friends and just talk. And, you know, I think sometimes we're so busy just go that I mean, if you want to look at this from a positive manner, it's nice just to hang out with each other and have a good time with each other. So, yeah. When we stick with alcohol, it's essential. Alcohol is essential. I was like, hell yeah. I was like, thank God the liquor stores are still open, breweries still open.
Yeah.
So,
I did see a funny meme though I'm probably not getting the verbiage right, but it said something to the effect of, just to be clear, in Oklahoma, schools are not essential, but alcohol is. Well,
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
it's probably
Or
mixed,
both.
probably a mixed bag.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, so I mean, like you guys, I mean, I don't know what you guys do, as far as living. Do y'all work IT or what? Like, how's this kind of affected you guys?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I work for a bank, and do a lot of our back end support for that. So I am just doing that from home now instead of from the office, indefinitely. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's been the hardest thing for me is I'm used to being able to lean over and you know talk to somebody, tell them what I need or what to do or whatever, and
Uh-huh.
can't do that. So, but luckily, and I was telling somebody this the other day. I'm grateful that if this was going to happen, it wasn't 20 years ago. It's now when we have tools like Skype and WebEx and whatever else to communicate better while we're not physically in the same place.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
And for me, I've been going to school full time for about the last 6 months, and recently I decided I was going to work while I'm doing that. So I was going to I had several interviews I was doing in the past few weeks to manage a few stores, and literally in the past week, 3 that I were on the final interview on all canceled because most of them were closing their stores down. It's like, well,
Yeah.
that's good timing.
Yeah.
But still going to school, GI Bill and stuff for film. That's
Nice.
fun. It's just shitty timing with the other aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully this will run its course, and then we'll kind of be back to. I think a lot of people, though, that being said, they have some unrealistic ideology. This is a week or two thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was a podcast, and I sent it to Jeremy about Joe Rogan, and he had a guy on. He was an infectious disease scientist, and I think one of the most profound things he said was, he said, "This is not a blizzard. This is a winter."
Yeah.
And basically, like, this isn't going to be over in a week or two. This is, we're talking, looking at all the data. If you look at all the trends and datas and numbers and things, you're looking at peaking out at June. And so it's not something that I think is going to be like over in the next week or two. I think that, like, again, like the governor's executive order, I think that'll help slow things. I suspect, I might be totally wrong, but I think that it will probably be extended at some point. So, because things are just kind of getting here. You see things in New York, which have a lot of population, and you see California, but I think that it's going to take a little bit for it to kind of get to the Midwestern states. And so we're kind of seeing an uptick now. The nice thing about Oklahoma is a lot of it's rural, so you could hang out your house and bunker down and like not see anyone for 6 months, and you'd be fine. So, yeah. But anyways, yeah.
It's crazy that one you can go to now for a lot of the information about this virus and everything is a fucking podcast by a comedian, Joe Rogan. A lot of people need to check that one out because it's really informative.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, when you sent me that, I had already watched it because it was like, he did that episode, and within a week it was posted everywhere, and it was honestly, it was the best explanation for all this stuff I had heard.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually learned about it from one of my physicians, and he said he listened to it, and he said, "Hey, listen to this. This guy knows what he's talking about." And so that's what kind of I don't listen to Joe Rogan all the time, but when I pulled it up, I was like, "Man, this guy's got some solid and it was a very entertaining podcast as well." So I mean, like I learned a lot. So, but yeah, man, it's been interesting for sure. I think there's another thing is there's like, and I know Jeremy sent me a list about things about like different myths and things like that people have, and one of those I guess was there was one specifically about mask. You'll see a lot of people out now that are wearing surgical masks and things like that. So, and honestly, those as far as you getting it, doesn't really, unless someone came and coughed in your face, it's probably not going to benefit much. If you have it, that helps because it's actually containing everything right there. But the thing about surgical masks is there's no regulation really. And so like the thing is that they can, one company's might be the material might be thicker than the other. So you have a better chance of getting it through dirty hands. So the nice thing is just wash your hands. It's a lipid soluble virus. So as soon as you wash your hands, it's dead. And so, you do better off if you did that. So, but I think a lot of it's just hysteria and it's just people being afraid and for a reasonable, reason, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But, like at the hospital, we use different masks. They're called N95. So these are regulated and tested and they actually, they know, as far as filtration, they know exactly how they work. So, we use different masks at the hospital than you see out, and there's a shortage right now though. You can't get them anywhere. I don't know if you guys seen the news, is people donating these masks or things like that because we can't get them. Right now at the hospital where they have a certain supply of things, but we're trying to reduce use as much as possible because we know that there's a short supply because so many people are having to use these right now. So
is that mask that you were wearing, that picture you sent me the other day, is that a real deal? Is that some shit you wear up the hospital?
Yeah. So here's the thing. That mask is a little much. But the thing is that I bought that mask because I do a lot of procedures. Like once, let's say if someone is getting really, really sick and we have to like put them on a ventilator, I take care of that and put lines in to give them medications and monitor their blood pressure. And usually I try to bundle everything together. So by the time I got done bundling everything together, I can't see. You can't see because the goggles we have, which is part of the protective equipment that we wear, the goggles you have are fogged up. And so, I, went online, got my own mask, respirator per se, and then it has the filters that we'd have at the hospital. But the reason I got it more so than anything is so that I could do my job and be able to see doing my job because in a matter of 20 to 30 minutes, you're in the room, your face is fogged over. So, but yeah, I don't, you won't see me at Reese's wearing that. I think people will freak out.
Yeah, you think you're a super villain or something. I'll throw that picture in the video version of the show.
Oh my God, yeah, it was if people saw me, they would flip out. But I think
break a lightsaber.
Yeah, I know. That's what my dad, he calls it my Vader mask. He was like, hey, do you sound like Darth Vader in that when you talk? I was like, it is muffled, but yeah. So that was just one of those things. Most of the time at the hospital, we just we have equipment, we have N95s that we wear, and they look just like they kind of look like the masks that you see all everywhere, but usually they're a little thicker and they're actually rated to filter out the air where you don't have the transmission. The one thing I would say is that a lot of people think this is just in the air, and it's really not. If someone around you was a cough, it could be in the air, but for the most part, it's a droplet. So you have a better chance, like if someone was to cough on their hand and then touch a handle, or touch it like a grocery cart, you have a better chance of a transmission that way than you do actually going through the air. At the hospital, though, you have instances where you're doing procedures and whatnot that induce airborne. And so it can stay airborne up to, 3 hours. And so that's the risk you take if you're doing a procedure there. But for the most part, people in society, I mean, you should be okay. So, and I know there's a lot of scare, but the thing is that 80% of the population will get this and they'll be okay. But there is that other the old, and especially I don't want to say it's just an old person disease because it's not, but your older population, because they have a lot of comorbidities, they do worse off because they're already sick to begin with. They have chronic disease, and then now you put something acute like this on top of it, and they don't do very well. That being said, though, there are cases that people are young and they get this and they shouldn't be sick, and they are really, really sick. So,
yeah,
it's not a young people disease. It's not an old person disease. And I think that's a lot of, you've seen these things on like Spring Breakers and all these people going out to Miami, and they're like, yeah, if I get it, I get it. I'm like, yeah. And then if you get it, you get it. Then you see me and Darth Vader over your face before you go on a ventilator.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's the thing is, like, I think a lot of people was like, this is stupid. Why are we doing social distancing and things like that? But it's honestly, it might not affect you as a person, but it might affect your grandparents. It might affect your parents. And so I think that's the thing is like, yeah, it might not affect you, but you're essentially a vector. Like you're someone that can give it to somebody else. And so, and then you got problems. So, but anyways, yeah.
So another one of the myths right now that I keep hearing a lot is that this is all going to just die off once the weather gets hot.
That's funny you say. I was talking to my dad about this today. I was on the phone. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's hot today. It's going to be gone." I said, "No, that's not true. That's completely false." And so the thing is that there's no evidence to support that. Now, I will say that it's kind of like influenza in that situation where if you have drier air, which you see typically with cold air because moisture can't stay in the air, then things kind of last longer. If you put something in the air and it's dry, it's going to fall down. But if you put something in the air and it's humid, then that's going to kind of stay in the air longer. Or I'm sorry, the other way around. If it's dry, then it's going to stay in the air longer, but it's humid, it's going to fall down. And so with this, it might decrease transmission, but it's not enough that it would actually change anything. So, because your main transmission is still contact. It can live on the surfaces for up to 19 hours. And even to some, depending on the surface, a couple of days. And so I can see why it would, there kind of be, in theory, yeah, that it could work, but in reality, I don't think you're going to see. It might put a small dent in it, but it's not like the flu, like we see, like it's seasonal and whatnot. I think that it'll still be around. So yeah. So I wish.
Right.
But I don't
it was 90 degrees today. I wish that shit was true.
Yeah. So yeah, but there's no evidence of it, and there's nothing that shows that actually changes things. And I would never. My thing is, I don't even watch the news really. I just look at data, and so that's why I read articles and things like that, and journal articles, and so. But everything, there's no evidence to show that it slows it down whatsoever. So, but unfortunately.
Another one that you keep seeing is, and you just mentioned a little bit about the flu again. Almost any time there's an article posted on social media about the coronavirus and the deaths or the rate that everyone's being infected by, there's always one of the first comments is, well, what about the flu? We're just not talking about the flu anymore? This isn't that big of a deal. What do you think about that?
Well, first off, this has been amazing for the flu because now no one cares about it. No, I'm just kidding. No, the thing about it is, first off, yeah, when I say it's been amazing for the flu, is it actually has decreased they're finding a decrease in transmission of the flu, I think, because people were taking extra precautions that normally wouldn't. They're washing their hands, they're being more cognizant of things. The thing is that this is not the flu. It doesn't work that way. It has so the flu has about a 1% mortality rate. You see about 60,000 Americans a year that die from the flu. This has a 3% mortality rate. And so, and especially for older people, anyone 80 or over, it's you're talking getting up in 14% mortality rate. And so, and you just don't see that with the flu. The flu at that old, you see like 1%. So I think that's why you see such a high death rate with this, where you don't see it with the flu. But this isn't per se. And I'll be honest with you guys, I was very skeptical that this was actually what it was when it first started out. My girlfriend, she was following it in January, and she's like, "Hey, have you heard about this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's just another one of those viruses that they get over there in China for various reasons, or the Middle East, and it's probably just going to play itself out." And then it just kind of blew up. But the thing about the coronavirus, it's really easy transmissible, and so compared to the flu, there's really no comparison. Like we have treatment for the flu. We have antivirals for the flu. We have vaccines for the flu. We don't have any of that for this. And then on top of that, it has a higher mortality rate than you see with the flu. So it's not something that it's not something that can be treated as easily. And so, and the thing from a medical standpoint, the people that really get sick really fast. And so you don't see it with the flu. Sometimes they have symptoms, and it's kind of those things is they didn't seek treatment, and then next thing you know, they're not doing very well. But this seems like people are not feeling well. It has an incubation period about 5 days. You start showing symptoms, and by day 10, you're not doing very well. I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying the worst cases. And so, so it's definitely, you really can't compare it. And if you look at the data, there's really nothing that you can't really say that one is the other, because I've heard it over 100 times that this is just a bad flu, but it's definitely not that. So not to scare anyone, but
it's scary shit, right?
Yeah, if you're scared, drink beer.
There you go. So there's one more myth I wanted to talk about, whatever, but and then we'll talk about beer and be a little bit funnier, hopefully. Yeah. So I have seen news reports and social media stuff and whatever, where people think that they can catch this shit from their dog, their cat, their pets. False, right?
Yeah. So there is coronavirus that affects dogs, but there's no evidence to show that dogs are, number one, can catch this, and number two, are vectors, meaning they can transmit it. If that was the case, I would definitely. I have 2 dogs. I don't know if you guys seen Molly. She's my cow dog. Comes to the brewery. Yeah, I would have her. I would not let her outside. I love that dog. So,
right.
But no, yeah. There's nothing that shows that there is such thing as dogs getting coronavirus. But again, it's not the strain that we're talking about right now. So.
Okay.
So your dogs are safe.
So don't abandon your damn pets, you scaredy cats.
That's exactly right. Yeah. I guess I was reading in New York, I guess everyone's adopting dogs. I mean, they said that they actually have there's a demand for that. Like there's not enough dogs right now for people. I guess everyone's just sitting at home. They just want to hang out. And so they don't have enough animals to actually go around right now. So, but yeah, no, that's total myth. So it's kind of interesting how all these things just come out of nowhere. It's like,
right.
Who would have thought, hey, I wonder if a dog can transmit this?
Yeah. Dog fuckers? I don't know.
Bats. I mean, if you have bats as pets, I'd be worried.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of where they think all this kind of happened, was either bats or this weird animal that looks like an armadillo called a pangolin or something like that. So,
Pangolin?
what is it?
It's a pangolin. I had never seen
Yeah,
it.
pangolin.
So
Yeah, me neither. I never heard of it.
Yeah.
My girlfriend was like, "Tell me all about." She knows weird stuff, and so she was telling me all these pangolins. And then I listened to that podcast on Joe Rogan, and he said the same thing. I was like, "What? How did you even know about that?" Like this thing, I've never heard of this thing in my life. We call them armadillos here in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but anyways, yeah. So, I don't know, man. I guess the biggest thing is that, as far as like getting back to beer and things like that, is that even though we're all isolated and things like that, I think it's important to support the local breweries. We everyone worked their ass off from a legislative standpoint to get where we're at, where we have tap rooms now, and we have we have the ability to buy beer and take it out of the brewery, and we can sell our local beer at grocery stores. And so everyone worked their ass off, and then this hit. So it takes such a hit on people. And I think it's important just to maybe make an extra conscious effort to like stop by somewhere and grab a 6-pack or whatever where you normally wouldn't, And so I think that, one reason I love Tulsa. I lived in Oklahoma City 10 years, wasn't a big fan of it. And then I moved to Tulsa, and I love this place. And I think the reason I loved it is, man, people love local here.
Yeah.
And, so I think we got to support everyone, as far as if you go out and eat, try to, use curbside or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see these places disappear.
Right.
Not to get all somber, but.
No, but it's a very real possibility if people don't keep supporting them more so than they normally would.
Yeah. So, because this definitely takes a hit on everyone. I even talked to Cody, my roommate, that he's one of the. So I don't know if you guys know Cody. He used to work at Iron Monk, and then he worked at Angry Scotsman, and then he got a job at Marshall's, and he's a brewer, and he does some of their microbiology stuff. And he said that they're not doing delivery or but at the same time, it's like they're not as busy. And that's Marshall's. They're a large one of the larger footprint breweries in Oklahoma, and they're not as busy as they were. So it's not just the little guys; it's the big guys too. And so I think that it's important just to support everyone and be conscious when you decide to spend your consumer dollars where you spend them at. So, but because I don't want to see anything go down.
Exactly.
So, yeah, but. Anyways, what have you guys been drinking during the what's y'all's favorite beer? You don't gotta say Renaissance. I don't care.
How much beer I've drank in the past 2 weeks, it'd be hard to even pick right now.
That's where I'm at. I will say, I will say, I killed a couple crowlers from Elgin Park with some pizza over the weekend, and damn,
dude, I love that pizza they have. It's the best. Yeah. And you met Ben?
Oh yeah, we had him on the show. Yeah.
What a genuine person.
Yeah.
So he can't.
Yeah, even though he looks like he's 12.
Exactly. Yeah. He does look like he could. I'm like, what are you doing? Do we need to card this guy?
Yeah.
He's looked so young. Yeah. Dude, he showed up at the brewery one day and I never met him. We shot the shit and I really enjoyed his insight and stuff. He's got a lot of background in food. I guess he got a degree in food. I don't know, not food services, but like the food industry and things like that. And he was really good to pick his brain and kind of learn things. So
yeah. Plus
he loves barbecue. So that's kind of one of the things. That was my love before beer was barbecue.
Okay.
So, yeah,
let's go well together.
What's that? Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah. And they're all meticulous. Everyone has their little things with barbecue as well. Yeah. So, and it's very much like an art, which I think brewing's kind of the same way, you know. People I mean, anyone, if I give you a recipe, you can get a recipe for Gozo online, but I think the difference is when people put their little artistic value to each thing. And so, it's a little thing they do and kind of makes it different and things like that. So, but, yeah, Ben's solid. And, Elgin Park, man, they make some solid beers.
Yeah.
So,
sure.
yeah. But
so on our last episode with Joe, we started a new segment that we kind of stole from our interview with Core 4 Brewing, a lightning round that's not really a lightning round. So I guess you can take as much time as you need on each question. And what it is, we'll just back and forth. There's 10 questions. We'll just go back and forth. You can say what you're thinking. If you want to elaborate a little bit, you can, or just jump to the next question.
all
We
right.
haven't for it yet. I don't think we probably came up with one, but who knows after that episode.
Yeah.
I got,
So lightning round. So the first question we got on there is IPA or stout?
oh man, stout, hands down. I like stout. I mean, I do like IPAs, but I like stouts because it's always kind of been a love for me. I always wanted one of my favorite beers is Old Rasputin.
Oh yeah.
And I love that beer, and it's just complex, and you know they take a little bit to make, and so you got to have, you know, you want it just to finish just right as far as attenuation and things like that. So I really like those. I like IPAs, I appreciate them, but I'm not a hophead per se. So I like some little malty with some chocolate and, you know, tobacco taste and things like that. So yeah.
Right on.
You guys?
Empty, by the way.
All right. I told you that beer is so easy to drink, man.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. We're both stout. We answered those questions on the last episode, but you know, went way too long.
Black. Yeah, man. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that too. That you guys like Black Gold.
Yeah.
It's good. Sometimes I hadn't drank in a long time, and then it's one of again, like Cody. He's one of his favorite beers is Black Gold, and I brought some home, and I think I've drank all his beer that I brought home from the brewery man, I forgot how much. It's kind of unique, you know, because it has a lot of black patent in it, so it's kind of different, but it's not overbearing, so sessionable. What's y'all's favorite stout?
Oh God, you're asking me to pick a favorite child.
Yeah, lightning round.
Something here. Damn. Shit.
I can't do it.
I don't know, man. I feel like, and I forget where I'm stealing this line from, but it was about boobs. I just sort of like them all.
Yeah.
Same here.
All right, so next one, summer or winter?
Summer or winter?
Yeah.
Oh, winter. Wait. No, yeah, I like winter. So I try to keep my house cool. The thing about winter is if you're cold, you can put more clothes on. At summer, you can only get so naked.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yep.
So at some point you're like, it's not, you know, socially acceptable to run around naked unless you're in Europe on the beaches. But and so anyways, but yeah, definitely summer over winter because I'm sorry, winter. Shit, I gotta quit drinking so much. Winter over summer, yeah, because I like being cold. I will literally have an anxiety attack if I'm hot. Like it freaks me the hell out.
Yeah.
So what about you guys?
Oh yeah, winter. Yeah.
Winter. Yeah. I ask most guys. You know, it seems like most guys are like winter people, and you know, girls they don't want to. They hate the cold. They hate it.
Right.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, my wife wears robes and shit when it's 100 degrees outside, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What are you
crazy. Yeah, it's nuts. So,
What about a pizza or burger?
man, that's a good one. I'd have to. I don't know. I'd have to say that's a tie because I love a good burger. But I'll eat a whole pizza. I'll eat a whole Andolini's DeMarco like by
nice.
myself. Yeah, it's my favorite pizza here in Tulsa, and then burger wise, I would say, you guys like Whataburger? I mean, I'm from Texas, so like,
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So there's a Whataburger over here. We call it Twataburger. And the reason being is it's the tornado Whataburger. It's the one the tornado hit.
Maybe you got that burger with extra cheese or something.
I don't know, man. I even bought a Whataburger hat, and I want to get it signed by this certain lady that works the front. But we call her, I probably shouldn't say, we call her Titties. It's more so because her boobs never move. She like sits here and she gets your drink and they stay there, and then she gets your burger, they stay there. But it's my goal in life to get that thing signed by her.
Oh, that's funny. Well, that's a perfect segue into the next question, actually. Cans or jugs?
Jugs. I don't know. Is there a Tugs? Is there a thing called Tugs?
Can be.
That's what these Skype episodes are about. We're just inventing shit.
Yeah, Tugs. Tugs.
Porter or pale ale?
What?
Porter or pale ale?
Oh man, I'm telling you, I'm a dark person. Porter. Yeah. So porter, I love porters. Yeah, man. Porters, stout. I mean, if you're like ranking beers, stout was like number one, and obviously porters and stouts kind of share a lot of similarities, but pale ale. We at Renaissance, we never made like a real put a pale ale out. We did like a one-off with one of our Rachel. We did she's our taproom manager, and she did like a pale ale recipe she had at her house, and we did that. But we've never. I have a recipe. So I live in Patrick Henry neighborhood, and I wanted to make a beer called Patrick Henry Pale Ale. I thought it sounded well, but anyways, I was gonna brew it last week, and then all this hit, and I'm like, I'm just gonna wait a little bit because it was just gonna be a one-off in the tap room, and so I think, I don't know, maybe still though, because I mean, there's still. Hopefully, I want to get people in the tap room.
Yeah.
To get beer, but what about you guys? Porter, pale ale?
I think we disagreed on this one. I honestly don't remember. Well, I can easily answer these questions differently than I did on Sunday as we get in this list. Yeah. I think right now I'd say pale ale, but I probably said porter on Sunday.
I think so. I'm pale ale all the way. That's my second favorite style after stout. So
good pale ale. Solid, because you get a little bit of the hop character.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you get, but it's not overbearing like you get like with. I mean, not to say all IPAs are overbearing, but you get that little bit of.
No, but I mean, honestly, for me, the pale ale, a lot of it comes from my affinity for Arrowhead Pale Ale over at Marshall. That's one of my summer go-tos for years now. So.
Yeah.
All right, so GIF or GIF? That's the word GIF.
Yeah. I love those things. I say GIF. I was corrected. I thought that was GIF, and then someone told me it was GIF. I might be totally.
They were wrong. It's GIF.
What does that stand for?
Get off the show right now.
I don't know what it stands for.
Yeah,
it's graphics. So
it's what? What does it stand for?
It's graphics, right? Graphics interface. Drink a little, but I know it's graphics. I know that's the first word.
That's the first one. Yeah, I don't remember either. But yeah.
Yep.
Agree to
But
disagree.
Yeah, get.
Ooh, I don't know if I agree with
I
that.
don't know.
I don't either.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about some more. I'm like, where did this even come up? I mean, I know it's just sometimes it's like what, a picture is worth 1,000 words, or GIF, whatever, GIF, whatever. That I love using those things, man. They're one of my favorite things to use. So
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. So
Citra or Sabro?
So Sabro was the you heard it was called Ron. Sabro was Ron Mexico, right? So did you ever hear that?
Sure.
It started as a hybrid, and then I think it got the name of Ron Mexico, and then when it got commercially, it was Sabro. I'd say Sabro. Yeah, I like Sabro, man. It's a very unique. Stoney made a beer with it. He did a smash beer with it once, and it was before, I can't remember what the like Yakima Valley or whatever. They'll have like those experimentals. They have like a HB whatever. I can't remember what it was, but anyways, yeah, I was impressed with that. So it was real juicy. So
yeah.
not to say that Citra isn't, but it was like very very distinct. So it's pretty cool what they can do with hops now. I remember when it was like Centennial, Cascade,
Right.
you got your bittering hops, Warrior, and stuff like that. But it's like now the things with, especially coming out of New Zealand, Australia. So I have a whole bag of some experimental stuff from Australia that I've been meaning to do like a smash beer with, but I just haven't got up to the brewery to do it. So, but what about you guys, Sour or Citra?
See, and I love them both, but one of my favorite pale ales that we were just talking about is Pseudo Sue, and it's brewed with Citra. So I think that'd be the tiebreaker for me.
That's the one with the dinosaur, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I haven't had that.
Oh man, it's
awesome.
really good. Yeah. Especially when it's fresh.
Yeah, there's nothing better than fresh IPAs. So.
And I was Sabro. I don't know if it's the same answer. Again, pretty drunk that.
Yeah.
I think it is.
But yeah,
I'm gonna make notes and I'm gonna go back.
Yeah, exactly. If you need something to listen to and you don't mind it being sloppy, you go right ahead.
Hey man, that's the best part about this,
Yeah.
Like, I've always liked podcasts because it's just like guys, girls, whatever, bullshitting, just like for the most part. So, just hanging out with each other.
It's in the title of our podcast, or in the tagline of our podcast.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, Boomer or Go Pokes?
Oh, listen, I hate the Sooners. I hate them. So,
yes.
I absolutely hate them, and the reason being is so I'm from Texas, and I grew up by Lubbock, Texas, and Sooners don't mean anything to us there. We don't care, and like everyone's a Texas Tech or whatever. Their biggest rivalry is Texas A&M, and so I came to college, and everyone's like, "You're from Texas," and I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, they hate you automatically, and I'm like, why? Like, what's the deal? And they're like, you don't know that Oklahoma and Texas have a rivalry? And I'm like, no one cares about that.
Yeah.
And so
maybe
and I just identify with so I grew up in an agriculture family. I grew up on a cotton farm. And so I think that's why I kind of identify with OSU people, and they just seem like friendlier people. I'm sure that there's gonna.
You can say better.
Better, really. I'm just saying, like I, from an outsider looking in, because I didn't have a family that told me when I was a half a year old that Texas sucks. That that I looking in, I was like, the people I've met that have gone to OSU versus the people I've met at OU, I prefer the people from OSU, and so, but that's just me. I don't know, but
that was the correct answer. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I graduated OSU, so.
Did you?
Yeah.
Dude, I love that town. Stillwater's awesome, man. I've had some good times there. So,
yeah.
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 I have a video of Cody Driscoll. If I ever see you guys, and I would never share the details of it, but me and him partaked a little too much one night, and I'll just put I had to take care of Cody. So, he's gonna kill me. I told him I was gonna be on this today. He's like, I'm gonna listen to
your friends. It's
I was like, yeah.
Wouldn't know anything about taking care of people.
Yeah. So like, he's fine. He's a wild man. Have you guys met him?
I haven't met him officially, but I know Joe's drank with him some, and that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And I've heard stories from other people. Yeah.
So I call him. His nickname is Wild Leprechaun.
Okay.
Because obviously he's Irish. I mean, look at the guy. So, but I'll just put it this way: last time we drank together might have resulted in a wrestling match in the middle of the yard.
Now hold on, amateur or WWE?
Oh, no, it was all on the ground, but yeah, there was no like suplex or anything like that. Okay. But pretty close. No chairs or anything.
Okay, all right, just making sure.
Yeah. So it was probably it was a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I'll send you guys separately a picture of Cody taking a nap in a chair. It's beautiful. One of the most beautiful things. God damn it, you guys!
He's gonna love you saying that on here.
Yeah, dude, I love the guy. He's such a character. He's crazy as hell, and he's you know he's a hard worker, and he's passionate about beer, and so he got a degree in microbiology at OSU. I mean, you can do a lot of things with a microbiology degree, and he decided, hey, I'm gonna do beer, and so I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so if you get him really drinking, he'll start talking about micro stuff with yeast, and you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So
we're gonna get him on the show now. That's for sure.
You got to, man.
He was already on the radar for
Yeah, he's the Wild Leprechaun.
Yeah,
that's his nickname. So he's crazy. Right now, he's quarantined himself over in Stillwater, so I hadn't seen him in a while. But I texted him last night. I was like, man, I miss you, buddy. I was like, when he comes back,
catch something. Just saying.
What's that?
Normally, Stillwater's where you catch something.
Oh yeah, depends. It depends what party you went to, huh? Yeah, man. Yeah. So, yes, man. He called me. He was like, "Hey, I need somewhere to. You got a place to stay at? You know, he's waiting for his girlfriend, or now. I don't know if you guys. They're engaged, so his fiance.
Oh,
yeah. And so, anyways, he's like, I need somewhere to stay for a little bit, and so, anyways, he's lived here since he started working at Marshall's, and definitely been an adventure. So it's been good times. He's a funny dude.
So, liquor or wine?
Oh, I'll be honest with you guys. So,
Is that the barrel aged one you're drinking there?
This is Park Hills. I guess they're whatever it's called. They're they're single barrel select. So, and started. So I went to this guy's house and he had some blends, and that's probably my favorite whiskey, and to this day still. And just because, more so, just the history, and it's probably overpriced a little bit, but I finally got all the horses that go on top, but each one has a different letter, so it spells out Blanton's, and it makes a horse that's running. But anyways, yeah, so to answer your question, I drink probably more liquor than beer, but I also mix them. So one of my favorites is to take a black gold and put some whiskey in it. Or the Nighthawks Porter we have, put whiskey in it. I'm like, this would be a perfect barrel if we did like a barrel. And there's been talks of doing barrels, and then we haven't really done any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Just to take space and things like that. But I did find I've been getting emails from one of the distributors on barrels, and I guess they have like a bunch of 5-gallon barrels, and like maybe putting some stuff in that because you don't have to dedicate as much of your, you don't have to allocate as much of time and things like that. And honestly, if you use a 5-gallon barrel versus a 50-gallon barrel, whatever they are, so there's more surface space, so it doesn't or surface area, so it doesn't take as long for you to get that barrel profile to it.
Right
So yeah, but yeah, I'm a. What about you guys? You obviously you have Pub Talk podcast.
Yeah, I'm liquor for sure, because of whiskey as well.
Yeah. So do you like Irish, American,
Canadian?
So you're
I
Crown?
love Crown. I love Crown.
Yeah, dude, Crown's good. I love
Yeah.
Crown. So
it was my fancy drink back in my shot taking days when Jaeger didn't do the trick. So,
Jaeger, dude, I can't believe. How did that become popular?
I don't know, but I did a lot of it back in the day.
That's why I can't do liquor, is because of those Jaeger shots, all the liquor back in the day, but those Jaeger shots for sure. So many of those.
They had the machine, remember? The machine, and it'd keep it cool. It was insane.
Yeah. Oh, I remember looking into buying one for the house.
That's serious right there.
We're curious about our
started a podcast about alcohol.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I guess there's a resurgence in like bourbon and whiskey and things like that, but I just like and I think your profile changes as you drink and things like that. Just kind of as in like when you become more aware of because I would have never in my life thought, hey, I need to drink I would have shot some whiskey, but I never would have just put it on some rocks or just drink it neat where you just sit there and sip it and enjoy the vanilla and things like that out of it. So, but if you guys like whiskey, one of my favorites, and it's not a bourbon and it's not overly expensive, is Bernheim. I don't know if you guys have heard of that. It's an American whiskey. It's weeded. Heaven Hills makes it, and it's still available. It's not allocated, and I like that. It's smooth. It has that nice sweetness you get with weeded bourbon, but it's no. I guess apparently it's called a whiskey. I don't know what for, and as far as like probably has something to do with the mash bill or whatnot. But so, and then a guy introduced me to a whiskey called Three Swallows, and it's really good. It's an Irish whiskey.
Okay.
If you guys like whiskey, I actually have a whole cart of whiskey. So, yeah.
I have a feeling that's how some of those nights, like what you were describing earlier, have happened, is whiskey. Just saying.
That was the problem, is whiskey got involved, and then that went south real quick.
Sure.
So, yeah.
As it does.
Yeah. Listen, not to, you guys got to get Cody on. He's a crazy man. He's wild.
Yeah, for sure.
And he loves it. He loves bull. You guys would like him because he just loves bullshitting. He just loves it, and he's a really intelligent guy. And he's really kind of young to the like brewing thing, and so just because he's worked for different brewing companies, stuff like that, but he's very like passionate about it. So I think Eric Marshall did a real good job picking him up. So, we'll
reach out to him sometime, get him on. We got one more in our lightning round.
So fast.
It's traditional or experimental?
Man. I think experimental. I say experimental. I like traditional. I respect traditional, but I like to look at traditional and then build on it.
Gotcha.
Because I think that's what differentiates us from the Europeans. the Europeans make very traditional beers. They're very they don't make a lot of. I mean, I don't know. I haven't been to any of those places. I know there's some, but there's a tons of breweries there that have been breweries for hundreds of years, and they do the same process over and over again. They do a very, very good job. But I think as Americans, I think that's kind of where we put our footprint down. We did things that nobody else was doing. We did beers with 100 IBUs and did things with that you don't typically see. Hazy IPAs to me are everything a brewer wouldn't want. You don't want haziness. You want to be cost effective, and they're definitely not a cost effective type of beer. I mean, you put a ton of hops in those things, and so you lose a lot of product just in trubbing out and things like that. So I think that Americans kind of push the envelope on certain styles and kind of try to make their own. But I like to take a traditional beer and try to exemplify it or put a little twist on it, per se. So yeah. What about you guys?
I'm probably first up would be experimental, and I like to fall back on my traditional beers. In between, I like tasting new stuff. New shit's fun.
Yeah.
And I think this is what I said the other day, but I love my experimental beers. I like going and getting the one-offs and taproom exclusives and stuff like that. It's very exciting. Build my own tap profile, whatever. Yeah. But if someone were to tell me I had to pick between experimental or traditional to drink for the rest of my fucking life, I'm going traditional in that scenario.
Yeah.
Just because I know, I mean, and I use Marshall for an example a lot just because they're in every quick trip in the fucking state. But, I know I can go get a distillate lager or whatever and get the same beer, and it's going to be delicious every time. And if you're going to force me to pick between one or the other forever, if we're playing that game, then I would go traditional for that reason.
Oh, yeah.
Plus Beer Stout Lager House. I was there a little over a year ago, and they reignited my passion for lagers and traditional styles. So,
yeah. I mean, that's the thing is a good lager to me is I mean that's not an easy product to make over and over and over again. You know what you're doing. There's nothing to hide behind.
Right.
And so I appreciate that a lot. So. I guess all right. So I got a lightning round for you guys. Ooh. So go to summer beer. I'm mowing the grass. Go to summer beer, and it can be anything. Go to summer beer.
How many?
I'm talking. Hey, I mowed the grass. I need something to quench my thirst right now.
Yeah. So at least last summer it was Arrowhead Pale Ale. This Land, Dunkel, all from Marshall. Gold, Renaissance Gold is a good one. What I'm forgetting one. Oh, Cabin Boys, their Kolsch is a good one.
Yeah. If I were throwing anything different, Roughtail had quite a few last summer that were really good after mowing the lawn. Their Dad Talk, I think it was Dad Talk Lager, something like that. Yes. And it was their acrylic series.
Yeah.
They made really good lawn mowing beers.
And Rapture too. I was killing their crowd.
I haven't had any of their stuff yet.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. The trick is you got to find it.
Yeah. Where is it? Where are those guys out of?
They're going into Kellyville.
Yeah, Kellyville.
Yeah, Kellyville. Anyway, they're going into Kellyville, but he's been selling his crowlers at the farmers market last summer, and it's on draft at McNally's and a few other. I mean, once things get back to normal, I would assume it would be back to those places.
I'm gonna check them out. So he did it at the farmers market.
Yeah, because he brews at Prairie Creek Farms. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so it made sense. Sell the beer next to the Prairie Creek Farms tent.
I think that's awesome, honestly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it was a very fun show. Love Mitch, and it was just a fun show anyway. Something different. See a farm when we go out and do a podcast.
You actually went to the farm?
Oh yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Episode.
Yeah.
It's awesome going out there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get him back on one of these Skype episodes here in the next few weeks too. So
these are pretty cool. I like this. So I like Mexican lagers. I have a love for Mexican lagers, and I guess Hunter Gamble is involved in some type of cerveceria is what they're calling it out in Oklahoma City. I haven't talked to him about it or anything like that, but that sounds pretty cool to me. I love Mexican lagers for a summer beer. I like Soul. Have you heard? Now, I'm not a big fan of AB InBev just because of who they are and what they do, and so. But they brought in Estrella Jalisco, which is you can get it at Quick Trip in cans, and it's solid if you put it in. You put a lime in it, nice beer. But as far as summer beers, you guys have you ever had El Jefe?
I think so.
Yeah. So we're putting that in cans soon.
Yeah.
That'll be in cans this summer.
Okay.
One of their beers.
Yeah.
It literally has a picture of Glenn's face on the front.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, but as a beer I made, it was a Mexican lager. Just when he was like building the brewery, construction workers guys, they call him El Jefe, and so that's how the name came about. But
nice.
It's kind of close to Victoria, so it's a little darker. But we just canned it. We're fixing a can. So we made 14 barrels, and we're canning half of that, and then the other half I think we're just going to be in the tap room. But I told Glenn, he said he only had like 10 cases available to the public. I told him I was buying half of them because I'm going to take it to the fucking lake. So
drink it all.
Yeah, man. So but I love Mexican lagers in the summertime. I think there's nothing that quench your thirst like that. So
yeah.
But how do you guys drink so much and not have to go piss? That's my question.
Well, and I was just about to say, I'm out of beer and I got to piss, so we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, dude, my bladder is about to explode right now.
Almost done. 1 sec.
So
walked in the room.
Nice. So just as we wrap this up, is there anything else you want to add, either about how to support local breweries Renaissance, about the COVID-19 stuff? Any final thoughts?
Man, my thing is like, hey, listen, we're all in this together. Let's take care of each other, support local breweries, support restaurants, and we'll get through this. This is just something that happens, and it's an interesting. It definitely disrupted society as far as how we work, and so I think the thing is just to remember that at the end of the day, we're all in this together, and we can get through it. And so, and not to worry about it, and support each other. And so, I think more than anything, that's kind of what's done for me. It was like even an example for today. Like I wanted to bring you guys beers because number one, I wanted you to have our beer to drink. Number two, like I care about the community, the beer community, and so and I think it's important to take care of each other. And so I think that's the thing is we just need to remember is support each other. So
awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and wash your fucking hands.
Exactly.
So anyways, but
Perfect.
guys, hey, I really appreciate you guys having me on, and
thank you.
And you guys stay safe, and hopefully sooner or later this will be all over and we can have some fun. So
get drunk together, in
that's
person.
That's right. Yeah.
Thanks again for coming on.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it.
Hey guys, don't let the door hit in the vagina on the way out. That was hilarious.
That's going to do it for another episode of Pub Talk. Thanks again to Kelsey for coming on the show and talking to us about all things COVID, coronavirus, and beer, and just generally having a great time, and for hooking up with some great Renaissance beer. Make sure go swing by the Renaissance Tap Room and get your to-go beer, or pick it up when you see it at local grocery stores like Reese's. Make sure to check us out on social media at Pub Talk Podcast. Subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode. As always, never forget there's nothing in life too big or hard you can't handle it over a few beers with your good friends. Until next time, wash your hands and chill till the next episode.